This computer. Hola, happy Sunday. I will just be super honest with you. I am ill prepared. Normally I sit down at my desk a good 20 minutes before we do this, and I didn't tonight. So we will do this together. Excuse me. Hopefully you guys have either a new printout for the week for your millionaire mess, or your MMM is what I have to call it because I can't really say all that. Or if you're just doing it, where you're screenshotting it. Oh, Carolyn's got hers. If you're screenshotting it, that works too. But that is what we are mainly working off of here. Looking ahead for the week, today was our last auto ship. So I feel like we should go ahead and do our rate of run because we're going to be pretty accurate at this point. Not by any means saying that the month is over, although it has flown by like, crazy. Like, honestly, Lindsay, when you said you were headed home yesterday, I was like, wow, like, I thought you had a good few weeks left. It just seemed like you'd be there longer. So anyway, so we're going to get on our cloud. We're going to go to that very main page, that opening page. You're going to scroll on down past all kinds of trackers until you get to the business snapshot. Click on that so that it drops down more information for you. Go past the green, the orange, the gray, and then you're going to see where it says qualifications. In that chunk, there's going to be a current QV. You're going to take that dollar amount, you're going to divide it by 25, so we find your daily average, and then you are going to okay, 31, I thought so. Then you're going to take that smaller number and multiply it by 31, and you are looking at what you are projected to end the month at. So again, this is not a guarantee. I wish that would be so great if it was a guarantee. But this just says, hey, if you keep doing what you've been doing at the pace you've been doing it, you could possibly end up the month at this dollar amount. So some of you might have seen that number and been like, oh, boo. And some of you might have been like, sweet. However you feel about it, that's just your indicator as to whether you need to put your foot on the gas and start getting real serious about asking for the order, asking for someone to take the sample, asking if somebody is interested in the business. If you don't ask, the answer is no. If you do ask, it could possibly be yes, but I can guarantee if you don't ask, the answer is no. I think a lot of us have been, in the last couple of weeks, really getting more direct in our messaging. And I know for me, that's resulted in people sampling that I've never thought to ask before. And I know for Miss Lisa, she's gotten some orders that I don't think she'd ever thought to ask for before. Same with Carolyn. She just had one this week too. So
I got Diana ordered today.
Oh my gosh. That is 4 new customers for you, Lisa Cook. And this month, right? Listen, I'm just gonna be quiet and you can lead the Zoom.
No, two. I had one on Thursday and I had one today.
I know, but this whole month, when were your other 2? Wasn't it? Was it at the very end of the month?
I can't remember, but anyway, it's been a good month.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Wow, good for you. We'll have to do your shout out here as soon as we get off of here. Sorry, I hadn't seen that yet. Okay, so now we know our rate of run, and now I want to start thinking about moving. This is the last week of the month. So if any of you are trying to break a rank or just reach a rank, if you're trying to qualify for the trip, if you are looking at the weekly payouts, if you're looking at a rank advance, I'm probably missing some things because there's so many things on the board right now. But if you're looking at any of those, you have a week left. You've got today until Saturday night at 11:59 Eastern to reach these goals that you have set for yourself. So I want to look at the MMM. I think, and again, the MMM is set up kind of like that funnel. Like we are reaching out, introducing ourselves with the group members and the new followers. And then we're really starting to getting to know people better in our stories and our reels. Then we're checking in and following up with people, right? They're actually in the funnel, some way, some shape, somehow. We've either had the conversation or they've actually placed an order. Then we have the direct sample message, like asking somebody specifically if they are ready to sample. And then there's that direct sale product or promo one where you say things like, hey, tonight is the last chance to get 20% off and free shipping kind of thing. So I would love to know, do you guys have some new followers from last week? Did you get any new eyeballs on your stuff? Whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or in real life. Let's not leave out real life. Like I know Carolyn started at a new job. She's probably around some people that are new and different for her. I have not started a new job, so I really haven't met anybody on the street just yet, but I'm sure I will. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Football season started, which just means I'm back in aunt mode. But you know, the moms there at the football field and at the concession stand and the cheerleaders moms and all those, like, I don't even have kids to go to that school, but they know me as Corey's aunt. And so I've gotten to know people that way. But I would love to know, have you guys sent out a message to anybody last week? If so, like, what was that message? Remember, this is not my Zoom, it's our Zoom. What about groups? Anybody working in groups? Did you make some new friends in groups?
Yep, and I had 2 samples go out today from a group because I'm digging into the groups.
Good. So tell me what you did. When you say you're digging into your group?
It's the walking. It's the walking, and I didn't mention anything about anything. They visited my page,
Oh,
and then they messaged me and asked for samples.
okay. So in the group that you're in is a walking group, right? Did you share a reel? Did you go live in the group? Did you make a post in the group? Like, what did you do?
Yeah. I share in the mornings, like when I walk, I just pop in and tell everybody good morning, and I share where I'm at in my walking and tell them to have a good day. And I always have my DFT showing.
Okay.
So even though I don't ever talk about Lavelle or anything what I'm doing, but yeah, they're visiting my page.
So how long have you been doing that in that group?
About 2 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 months and 2 samples. I think there's some math there that we should all be following.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are like, well, I was active in my group for 2 weeks or a month or 6 weeks. Like, right? Like what if she gave up at the 6-week mark?
Yeah.
Right? But she made it through the 2 months, and 2 months turned into 2 samples. That's huge, Carolyn. I am so proud of you.
I know. I was too, because one's in Pennsylvania and one's in Maryland.
Girl,
So
you're going all over the place now.
I know. I was excited.
I love that you're breaking out the low Lebanon. Yes. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, so if this doesn't inspire you to get into your groups on a more regular basis, I really don't know what will. And note now, Carolyn, you can tell me if I'm right or not. Is this one walking group that you're in, or are you in multiple walking groups commenting? Like,
I was in 3 walking groups, but now I'm down to 1 because the other 2 that I was in, they were just interested in showing what shorts they had on that day and things like that I'm just not interested in.
yeah, no, that's good though. So I like that. So you went through the process of finding the right group for you. And I like that you narrowed it down to one group, because then you actually can focus on that group. And by being focused in the last 2 months in that group, look what's happened. Like, you're actually got some samples now. So I love that. I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened here on our Zoom tonight. So if you are thinking, you know, we're planning right for the week. That's what we do on Sunday nights. I would love for you to put on your calendar right now, at least 3 days this week, if not all 7. Write the word group, right? Put it on your calendar, put it on your daily to-do list. Make sure you're getting in that one group on a regular, consistent basis. Maybe you're sharing a reel that you made. Maybe you're going live in the group. Maybe you're making a post, right? Like, whatever it is you're doing, mix it up. Maybe you ask a question. Everyone has an opinion, right? Everyone has an opinion. Ask questions. All the things you can do on your regular social media, you can do in the group. But you know, in the group, you're talking to your people. And now notice, Carolyn wasn't selling her product in the group. A lot of groups will actually kick you out if you're in the group trying to sell. So be you, be all about you and whatever that group is about. Like for me, when I go into my group, I'm talking gardening. Carolyn's talking walking. I know Lisa is in a lot of like craft. I know she's in a Dollar Tree group because those Dollar Tree girls are crazy and they love it. So you've got to keep showing up in those groups to get people interested enough to click your picture, right? But then what happens when they click your picture? Do you have something? Is your bio up to date? Do you have your link tree in the bio? Do you offer samples? What if they click your face and they go to your story? Did you talk about the product or the business today in some way, shape, or form in your story? If you haven't, now's a great time to do it. You've got to put yourself in the customer's mindset. How are you going to find them? And when they finally find you and they start clicking buttons, what are they going to see? People are very kind-hearted and they all mean well and they like to tag you in things on Facebook. Do you ever have that where people tag you in things? Go to you can stay tagged in it. That's fine. It'll just be out there in the ether floating around, right? I actually go to my profile. I will, on that post where they tag me, I will click the three dots and I will click hide from profile. So that just means when somebody who doesn't yet know me and they come to my profile, they're not going to see all the things I've been tagged in. They're only going to see the things that I have posted, right? I would feel bad for people if they had to go through all the things I've been tagged in. I just want them to see what I want them to see, right? So it's still fun to be tagged in things. It's still floating out there. My friends are going to see it, that kind of thing. But I don't want a new person coming to my profile and seeing that. So I think a self social media audit is a really great thing to do. Is your profile picture your face? Not your face plus somebody else's, not your face when you were 5, not the picture of your cat. It has to be your face, right? If somebody is looking for you, they have to find you. If they've watched your reel and they've seen your face and then they go to look for you and they think the name matches, but it's a picture of my wiener dog, they're not going to know, right? It has to be your face. Once they click on that face, what are they seeing? You can also set to never go to your profile unless you select them to. I know I just haven't done that, but yes, thank you, Jill. You can also set it on you can go into your settings and you can get real specific about if somebody does tag you, where will it go, where will it won't go, that kind of thing. So yes, thank you. I should maybe just spend some time doing that every now and then. But when they click your face, what do they then see? Like go to your profile and look at that. Look at it from the customer's eyeball. Is your bio something that is so if Carolyn's been showing up in this walking group and they go and they click on her bio and it says nothing about walking, it talks about, I don't know, politics and chickens, whatever, like they might be like, well, maybe that's not really her, or maybe she's not really into walking like I thought, right? Like you got to have what you're doing on social media connect to what your bio says. Do you have a link tree or a milkshake or I don't know, there's a bunch of them. Do you have something like that? Or bare minimum, do you have your Lavelle link? Right? And so like in Carolyn's case, she could talk about she like on her link tree, she could say my favorite beverage for walking, my favorite early morning walk, concoction, my walking sticker. Like she could have different things like that if somebody's been watching her in that group, now when they click on her picture and they get into her profile, they're like, oh, that's the sticker I see that she's always wearing when she's walking, or oh, that's what she's always drinking in her cup when she's going live talking to us on her walk, right? It has to connect back and forth. And then go through your actual posts. If I always do a little like trial, I'll pop in like probably once a week on my Facebook and I'm like, okay, and I start scrolling and I'm like, life, thrive, life, thrive, life, thrive. That's a pretty good balance as far as I'm concerned. If I'm like life, thrive, life, that's a little heavy on life. But I also don't want to be like thrive, right? So I go through and I kind of check myself. I also go through, and if I made any kind of post where I mentioned maybe a discount or something that might have been happening, I will delete it. Like if I go back through and I talk about 20% off back to school or anything like that on my actual feed, and that's now gone, I will delete it. But that is also why I typically do that kind of thing on my stories, because it deletes itself in 24 hours. Cami says, I love having a pinned post about my story. Yes, excellent point. On your Facebook and your Instagram and even your TikToks, you can pin. So basically, it's just like imagine a thumbtack over in social media land. You can pin that post to the top. So if you have a post where, in this case, Cami's saying it was her Thrive story, that the most recent time she shared her Thrive story, she has that post pinned to the top. When somebody lands on her page for the first time and they start being nosy, which that's the only reason we go to people's pages, right? They're going to find that post first. And then they're going to find all the up-to-date stuff. Same on Instagram, same on your, like the TikTok would be your pinned reel. Yeah, that's an excellent point. So think about that. Put that on your to-do list this week. Like, let's close out August with a really cleaned up, ready to sell, right? Very friendly, very on brand, but also ready to sell if they start clicking those buttons on your social media profile. Because that way, when you're, September 1st hits and you've already spent you're going to spend this whole week showing up in your group, right? We've already talked about that. You put group on your calendar every day this week. You're going to be showing up in that group every day. You're going to be doing your social media audit in the background. You're going to get that Linktree up to date if it isn't already. That used to be on a bingo card at least once a month. And I know we don't have that anymore. So I'm just throwing that out there. If your Linktree or your Milkshake or whatever, whichever one you use, if that needs updated, jump on that and get that updated. And then by September 1st, you should have a really cleaned up. Now, I will only scroll back. So like when I'm doing a self audit, I only scroll back so far. A, lazy. B, I don't really think people are going to, I mean, somebody might be crazy, like lunatic crazy, and they may go through my whole Facebook and Godspeed. Okay. Like good luck for them. But the normal person's going to scroll through a few to see what you're all about. What are you really talking about? What's happening in your life? So I only go back probably a week at a time. Anyway, I think that's an excellent thing to do because we are first and foremost looking for new eyeballs. That's why we make social media posts. That's why we make reels and TikToks, right? That's why we're talking in our stories. We are looking for that. So make sure that it's ready for people to actually click on. Next up is actually being in your stories and your reels. If we're going to be sending messages to people to thank them for supporting us by voting on our poll, answering a quiz, asking a question, all the things that we can do in stories. If we're going to be then going into that story and taking that list of names and then contacting those people, we got to have a story there, right? So think, this is the end of August. What is a question? What is a question you can ask this week on your story? What's a quiz you could have on your story? What's a poll you could put on your story? And I'm blanking. And then there's like the slider where people could, go left or right to kind of give you their opinion on something. And I feel like there's something else that I'm missing. Let me look. Oh, we can, don't forget to that little add yours. Like maybe, I don't know, add a picture, your dog, add yours. Your favorite fall drink, add yours. That's something that when somebody sees it, then they can click on it and add theirs too. So questions, polls, links, the slider. Yeah. So just play it. Like when you go to make a story and you have all those options on Instagram, play with them, right? Because then you actually are putting forth something that somebody can take the time. Like if you guys paid attention to Jason Camper's story last night, he's clearly working on a holistic. Oh, that's so funny, Lindsay, you just put that in there. He's clearly working on the holistic GLP-1. You could put on there, who takes a GLP-1? Who's heard of Ozempic? Who's trying to lose weight? Like there's all kinds, like what do you think the best way to lose weight is? You could do a poll, exercise, nutrition, supplementation, medication, right? Like you could start asking questions and see who could be on your potentials list. And then you can even just flat out put a question in there. Who wants to be on my VIP list, or who wants to be the first to know when I find out what we're doing? Jill said, question is a good one for interaction. Ask me anything. Yes. And I will say something, I think it was Courtney Glazer that told me this one time, or told us one time in a Zoom, when she puts the ask me anything up on her story, people don't always ask her anything, but you can pick up your husband's phone or your best friend's phone, or you can log in from another account and you can ask yourself some questions. And then you can go back and log in as you, and you can answer those questions, right? So what are some common questions that you might get? Just ask, pretend someone asked you those, because at one time they might have. And if you feel weird about it, call me and I'll ask you the questions, and then you can be like, oh, yep, somebody asked me. Lindsay said, how about a new announcement on the GLP? It's a great poll. Also added the board. Also in the board we made, there are lots of
Canva links for.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I my fingers got ahead of me.
That's okay. Yeah. I can't even begin to imagine what the heck he has up his sleeve. We said serum, so that's good because everything else is like an injection. So if it's like a serum, that's way better than needles. Yeah, and so since Lindsay brought it up, on the boards, the MMM board, when you go in there, there's all those scripts that we talked about, but there's also a Canva link board in there now. So opportunity stories, product stories, community stories. I'm trying to think what all. I stared at them all the other day when I labeled them. Now I can't think what all's on there, but there's a bunch in there for you guys to pick from. And those can go into your stories as well. Okay. Did anybody get any, like, I'll just say, I'm going to tell this story because I told this story the other night to some girls that were at my house, some Thrive girls that were at my house. I got to pull it up though, because I can't remember. There is a link. There is a Canva link that says Why Lavelle. And one of the things that it talks about is, oh, that's Why Lavelle. Why our team. Okay, and I just want you to know this is as an our team from, this is from Lindsay Dickens down. This is where these numbers came from. So if you're like, I don't know if somebody would join my team, guess what they would, because your team has over $82 million in sales. 82 million in sales. That's huge. That would be a team I would want to join, right? Over 47,000 customers. That's a lot of customers. That's really something to brag about. There's over 10,000 team members that are getting a weekly paycheck. That's huge. There are 406 auto bonus earners on your team. You are a part of a team that has that. You're part of a company that has over $2 million in free products that have been earned, right? So when you start putting your little tail between your legs and you think, I'm not going to talk about the opportunity because somebody's not going to be on my team. Well, that's your ego talking, and that's you thinking of just yourself. Think of the actual team that you're on. You are part of something really big, and that's just our team. That's not even all the company. That's just our team, right? So keep that. Yeah, holy moly, Batman. That's what I said. When I heard that 82 million, I told Lindsay she was a badass, which she immediately said, no, my team is, but like, whatever, girl, you're badass. I think you should get a t-shirt that says I have $82 million in lifetime sales. Okay. So again, when it comes to somebody commenting or voting or sliding or answering or whatever on your polls or on your stories, on your stories, when somebody is taking the time to interact with you on stories, don't just let that go by. Look at those faces. If it's a Thriver, go on by. If it's your mama, go on by. But look for those faces that you haven't talked to, or maybe you've talked to but never talked to well. That's your chance. But like, thank you so much for voting on my poll. Thank you so much for asking the question. That was my favorite option too. That's how you're going to start getting more and more names to work with. First, we got the eyeballs on us because we made the story, right? And now we have the names to work with. From that, you can send a message, right? Thanking them for supporting you, thanking them for their answer, maybe going a little bit deeper. If somebody answers, like specifically, if you do a GLP-1 question of some sort, and if somebody answers you back, get a conversation started. Have you taken it? What are you on? How does it make you feel? Why did you quit? Like all kinds of stuff. How much did it cost? There ain't no way Jason Camper is going to come out with something that's as expensive as what's out there. So the cost alone could be something that would trigger somebody to switch or to try our product for the first time. So get this conversation started now, because we don't know what it's about. And here's the beauty of that. I'm not asking you to talk to people about the new product, because we know nothing about the new product. So there ain't nothing to talk about. However, I'm asking for you to talk to people about what the product solves and find out who is looking for that solution. Just build that list. Keep that list, right? Does anybody have an example of reaching out to someone this week that commented or talked to them in their stories or from a reel that led to a conversation? Oh, Lindsay, just raise your hand.
So I did my customers before and after picture because she allowed me to, and she said I could. So I didn't have any comments, but I had a shit ton of likes and loves, and I just went in and I offered them all a sample. I also went back to her because there were people that were not mutual friends, and I just sent them a message that said, "Hey Carol, thanks for the love on my post about our mutual friend Cherie and her Thrive journey. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm reaching out on her behalf and not sure if this product is something for you or not, but I would love to pop you out a sample to see what you think. If you're open to that, just click on the link And I can get it right away. And I got a thumbs up and I got the request. So
Nice.
I just took it upon myself to reach out to the people that are not friends with me. So
I love
that
that.
was me shouting out a friend who thrives under me, who will not do it for herself because God love her. She will pay for it every day. But she's
Yeah.
lost 18 pounds and she looks amazing.
Yeah. But I because we always say, like, you know, the person you're talking to may not be your next thriver. And in this case, she's already a thriver. So she may not be your next promoter, but she might lead you to your next promoter. So if she is not willing to put herself out there, like you said, but you're, because a lot of people get to that point, they're like, well, she won't tell anybody. She won't tell anybody. She won't talk to anybody. Okay, Lindsay just bypassed all that. If the girl won't talk to anybody, Lindsay's going to talk to people that know her. Lindsay's going to talk to people who are supporting her, because obviously Lindsay could sign them up as customers under this girl, right? She could end up thriving for free. Wonderful. Or somebody could become a thriver out of that and want to click promoter, and then Lindsay's got herself a new promoter. So whenever you hit the roadblock of so-and-so quit, or so-and-so won't try it, or so-and-so won't talk, remember, every single person you come in contact with is a link, right? It's a link to something. Not everyone's going to be a link to a new customer account. Some of them may be a link to 18 new customer accounts versus, right? Like you may meet someone at a party who cannot for the life of them. Like I have a girlfriend, she has a lung transplant. No, end of sentence. She's not allowed to have anything. Like she's just on medication for the rest of her life. She's got this donor lung and we're all hoping she lives, right? But she knows a lot of people who want to lose weight, who don't feel good. And she's referred me to a lot of people. So don't look at somebody saying no or somebody not participating as the roadblock. It's just a different, you got to open the door differently, right? And so I think that's excellent. Lindsay, if you would like to put that in the chat, or if you want to put that on the MMM board, because it is similar yet different from some of the chats. I'm sure people would love that. Oh, I gotta get jiggy. I'm chit-chatting too much. No equals next opportunity. Thank you, Charlene. I love that. Check-ins or follow-ups. You guys, this is a no-brainer to me. It's to only check in or follow up with 3 people a day. You could do 3 people in the morning, 3 people in the mid-morning, 3 people in the afternoon, 3 people in mid-afternoon, 3 people at night, 3 people before bed. Like checking in and following up with people is easy peasy. You're either maybe following up with a sampler, maybe you're checking in with an auto ship, maybe you're just following up with a friend you haven't talked to in a long time, maybe you're checking in with a customer you haven't talked to, maybe you're checking in with a team member you haven't talked to. And when I say team member, I do not mean your side sisters and you're a gazillion uplines. I mean a downline, like checking in. Like I love our community and I know we're here to make friends, but like being very specific with what's going on. So this leads me to sample messages, and Lindsay just put hers in here, which I think is an awesome one. If you don't have this one, we will put it in the MMM board, but excuse me, but you can copy it if you're able. Please note that is Lindsay's link. Make sure you put your username in instead of Lindsay's username, because you'll be really, really sad if you don't. Did anybody else, Lisa, I know you did. I know you sent out a sample message. Would you put yours in there for us? Maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I just sent, I shouldn't say everybody, I had seen several that people had sent out about teachers and going back to school and everything. And I just kind of tweaked it and I sent it to moms that I knew had kids that I had seen their back to school pictures for their kids. Hi, Sarah. I saw the kids back to school cheer football pictures. I know this is a busy time of year for you. I remember when my kids were that busy, I never knew if I was coming or going, LOL. I'm sure you've seen my Thrive post and I wanted to offer you a 3-day sample. Thrive helps you with all the things you need right now: energy, lifting the brain fog, and helping you sleep. What's your address so I can get your sample in the mail?
Yep, there you go. There's another one for you. So that's two different routes, I'll call it. One was from a before and after photo where somebody was actually like praising the person who worked so hard on their health. And then this is one where Lisa is just acknowledging that this is such a busy time for this person. And she's sure that she has seen her posting about it. And now's the time to get a trial pack from her. Right.
And she responded. And I mean, like within 5 minutes, she put her address in the chat.
Yeah. And here's the thing. We can talk about samples on our page. We can talk about samples in our stories. We can put our link for samples in our stories. Trust me, I've done that forever. And people are probably seeing it, but it's a lot like a commercial where you see the new shoes and you're like, those are cute. Then you see them again, you're like, well, those really are cute. I wonder if they're comfortable. Then you see them again, you're like, wait a minute, I saw those at the store in person. They're even cuter in real life. Wait a minute, I got a gift card to that store. Like before you know it, the shoes you got to have, right? But somebody may only see your story once a month or once every couple weeks. So I'm not going to say it's not in their head somewhere, but you got to dig it out of there. You got to send them that direct message. Here's why I think you need it. Here's why it's so amazing. And here's how easy it is to get a sample of it, right? Do not forget the biggest part of a sample pack. Who knows what the biggest part of a sample pack is? What is the biggest, most important thing for a sample pack?
Follow-up.
Yes.
Group chat.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Get them in a three-way chat. I'll tell you a funny story. I'm going to tell it myself, Lindsay. So I had a new girl sampling. Her name is Donna. I made the three-way chat and Donna was not responding, which I thought was really weird because she was so excited originally to try it. And then, so I had talked, Lindsay had talked. I think I threw something in about the discount or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Donna responds. She doesn't know what this is about. She didn't sign up for this. She really like, good for you for wanting to work your business, but I don't know what this is about. I put the wrong Donna in the chat. So anyway, LOL, maybe that Donna will thrive someday. But then we finally got the real Donna in. So anyway, you got to start these chats because they're not there for you. They're there for them. I actually say to people, I want to introduce you to my friend Lindsay. She's my Thrive guru, my product girl, and she is who I go to if I have questions, and I want you to have access to her, especially while you're on a trial. I don't say I'm going to put you in this chat with my friend Lindsay because, and I know a lot of people do this and we taught this, she's been thriving longer and she can have answer questions. No, like I'm saying, Lindsay is my Thrive girl, right? Lindsay might send me a question about Thrive. That doesn't matter. I am saying the person I'm putting you in with is my guru. They're my go-to. They're who I ask questions. And I know while you're sampling, I want you to have access to them, right? That's a very different feeling message than meet my friend Lindsay. She thrived a little longer. She's going to help you through this, right? Like really build up the person you're putting in there. And I just think that makes a big difference, the way you word stuff. So, oh, okay, that's you, Lisa, where you put the hi, Sarah. Okay, I just saw it said Samsung on there. All right, so Lisa put her message in there for you also for samples. Anybody else have any success with samples? A message that you've sent, a follow-up that you've sent?
okay.
No, but I
I'll
love
share
that
my-
message, Lisa. Thank you for sharing it because I struggle with being an empty nester now. So I love that verbiage.
Thank you. And I had to go on my phone and go from so that's why I was on there twice, on the Zoom twice.
Oh. What were you going to say, Charlene?
Okay, so I sent a message. Jeep group, lots of friends made that way. So we've been on social media a little bit and she started going back to work, or not work, but working out. And I've commented here and there, on custom conscious comments, I always say, on her post. And just with this MMM stuff that we've been doing is what brought the sample chat on. But I just said that. I'm trying to get to it because I've sent a lot of messages. Hold on one second.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. I know you're on a workout / health and wellness journey, and while I'm not sure if this product is for you or not, I know it catapulted my own journey. I would love to pop you out a sample of it to see what you think. And I have a sample going out tomorrow.
I love that because it's short, sweet, and simple, and words
Right.
like catapult.
Yeah.
Hello, that caught my attention.
Put it in the chat.
I'm very
Charlene.
much to the point. I
I
don't
love it. Can you throw that in the chat for us?
Around the bush. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
copy paste. Love it. If somebody said they were going to catapult my weight loss, I'd be your best friend too. Okay, so last thing we're going to cover here real quick, the direct sale, the product, the promo. So obviously we have a promo that's ending tonight. You don't have to have the company promo. You can make your own promos. So like the last couple weeks, it's been 150. The last couple weeks has been amazing. Like there's no one can argue that the minimum was 150. It was 20% off. It was free shipping. It was freaking amazing. I don't know what the next promo will be, but I know that you can make your own. So all last week, even though that whole promo was running, I had a promo on my stories of $50 off for new customers. It's just a Canva graphic I whipped up. Again, it's in that chat that we all have. Just you could put your face on it, change the dates, kind of a thing. But for somebody who's already thriving or maybe already deep in the conversation, 20% off and free shipping, that, I mean, I know for my existing customers, 20% off and free shipping meant a lot, right? A lot. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. But a newbie who doesn't know all the things and is maybe not aware of how expensive shipping is and whatever, they might see that and it floats on by, but then they see $50 off for a new customer, or maybe $20 off, or whatever it is you've got to offer. But again, that was in my story. So I'm always selling in my story. That's where I like to just, I live my life on social media and I talk a little bit about Thrive, but in my story, I really like to sell my product and talk about my company. So you don't have to come up, you don't have to wait. I'm sorry, you don't have to wait for a corporate promo, right? So if tonight the promo is not panning out, and maybe you've talked to a few people, you can launch your own promo tomorrow morning. What do you have on your shelf? What credits do you have? What can you do, right? That kind of thing. And you can send those messages. And the other thing is the direct sale or / product message. That could be where somebody answers, like, let's say they answer your poll. Maybe I do a poll about gardening and best way to recover after a day of gardening. Some people are going to say ice pack. Some people are going to say Advil, that kind of thing. And I could actually talk about my move and how I love my move. I used to love my move gel. Now I love my move capsules, blah, blah, blah. And so then I could, if somebody were to vote or talk about that on my poll, then that opens up the door for me to be like, oh, hey, I saw that you say you like to take Fort Advil after you garden. Have you ever tried a joint supplement? This would make a big difference for me. Like, that's a very direct response to someone's answer, right? Like, your liver will thank you instead of them Fort Advil that you're living off of. And maybe somebody votes on, this pumpkin spice latte. It's apparently back. I'm not a coffee drinker. It annoys me. I don't know why it annoys me, but pumpkin spice Thrive, it's out there. You guys can get it, right? It's in our cloud. You can order it if you haven't already. But again, that's something you could send a message. Hey, have you ever thought about trying a pumpkin spice protein shake instead of a coffee? It's way better for your gut and you're going to get protein in the morning. Like, have those direct conversations with people if they're participating. Like, you could do the poll on your story. Who already went and got your pumpkin spice latte? And I already know 4 people in my immediate vicinity, circle of life, that have already gotten them. Right? So you could ask that question. You're going to get a ton of responses, and then you could respond back. Like, hey, I know you already got your PSL, as they like to call it, and I know you're a huge Starbucks girl, but if I sent you a sample of this, would you try it? It's pumpkin spice. It's a pumpkin spice. If you take a pumpkin spice shake and a cafe and mix it together, that's supposedly a pumpkin spice latte. I don't know. Again, I don't drink coffee, but that's what they say. So it's just a matter of being creative and being direct in the message. So that's how we can get all these messages done. And now we have, and Lindsay's putting all of these scripts. If you're watching the replay, all of these scripts just went into the MMM board. Last thing I want to make sure I talk about is that social media square down there at the bottom, where it says product or sample, opportunity, personal brand, and live. I think that's throwing some people off because it's not as specific as the bingo card. But just remember, you're going to talk about your product or a sample at least 4 times a week. Maybe you do it in a story, maybe you do it in a post, maybe you do it in a reel, then maybe you do it in your story again, right? Just mix it around. Same with the opportunity, right? Share the fact that we have a live on Saturday where we talk about the opportunity. Maybe throw a slide on your Canva about the opportunity. Maybe make a post about what this business has done for you. I mean, Tuesday is always an easy way to do that, right? Your personal brand, you guys, that should be like breathing for you now. If we didn't bang that into your head for 11 months, then your head is very hard. And then going live, that can be anything. That can be anything. Look, like when you're like, oh man, I haven't gone live yet. Look at your squares. Did you go live about the opportunity? And again, if you're not sure and you're like, I don't know, why would I talk live about this? You could just talk about how exciting it is that you're on a team that has $82 million in sales. The average sale of this product is $150. I know it's 160 now, but it was 150 long enough that that's still the average. So to get to 82 million, that ain't chump change, people. That's huge. Personal development. We did a whole Zoom on it last Monday, I think, or the Monday before, about all the ways to develop. Zoom invites, if you're not sure how to invite someone, if you're not sure what words to use, remember it's in the MMM board. You're on a training, auto ships. We'll do that again next week. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to get off here. It's the last week of the month. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Also because next month is our retreat, which makes me even more excited. If you are struggling, remember there is a sample tracker. It's in the cloud. It's also, maybe this one isn't in the cloud. This is in our team page for sure. It's in our guides.
Tammy, tomorrow's National Dog Day, so. And
Stop.
it's also, I don't know what we'll do with this, but it's National Toilet Paper Day. I don't know what you want to do with that, but there you go.
Well, I mean, a dog running around the house with toilet paper is pretty accurate. That's so cute. National Dog Day. One last thing I'm going to say really quickly. I have a sheet right here in front of me with a bunch of names on it. These are customers. I went through my cloud. I sorted it by last order. These are people that haven't ordered in 3 or more years. And I just haven't really talked to them. But they're going to get a 1-day sample from me. And that's going to say something about lots changed over the years. I'm sure your life is completely different. But here's Thrive for the life you're living now. Right? So anyway, that's it. Thanks for being here. The recording will be up. MMM board is updated. Thanks to Lindsay over there working while we're working. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.